In his thought-provoking work Building a Bridge to the 18th Century, How the Past Can Improve Our Future, published in 1999, Neil Postman embarks on a quest to restore balance in our modern society by examining the accomplishments of the Enlightenment period. Postman delves into key concepts such as Jefferson's vision of representative democracy, Locke's deductive reasoning, and Rousseau's emphasis on educating the younger generation. Through these historical achievements, the author boldly asserts that truth should remain steadfast and not succumb to passing trends or the march of time. Postman initiates his exploration by sharing his pursuit of valuable ideas from the past. He identifies ancient Greece as the birthplace of the Western world, while highlighting the 18th century as the dawn of the modern era. The Enlightenment, in particular, arose partly from a rekindling of interest in ancient Greek writings. The founding fathers of America extensively studied these works and drew inspiration from their ideas to shape the nation's government. However, Postman ultimately rejects the notions of ancient Greece, deeming them antiquated, foreign, insular, and ill-equipped to grapple with the power of technology. Likewise, he dismisses the God-centered perspective of the Middle Ages, as he seeks to avoid fundamentalism becoming a central focus, especially given society's distancing from religious frameworks. Thus, he chooses the Enlightenment as a rich source of ideas to guide our approach to the future. According to Postman, our contemporary world falls short when compared to the vibrant intellectual climate of the 18th century. He attributes this deficiency to our inundation with meaningless information and data. In stark contrast, the Enlightenment era celebrated knowledge, information imbued with context and purpose. While we grapple with deconstructionists who scrutinize the intricate relationship between language and reality, the 18th century boasted philosophers who firmly believed in the power of language as a means to map and understand reality. By examining the intellectual achievements of the Enlightenment, Neil Postman invites us to reflect on the ways in which we can reclaim the virtues of knowledge, context, and purpose that characterized that era. In doing so, he encourages us to build a bridge that spans the chasm between the past and the future, drawing from the wisdom of history to shape a more balanced and meaningful society. In our contemporary society, children are bombarded with advertisements and exposed to sexually explicit images, reducing them to mere consumers. This stands in stark contrast to the belief held by 18th century thinkers who recognized childhood as a distinct stage of life, deserving protection from adult-oriented information. The author laments the erosion of religious values and argues that without a guiding narrative that instills a sense of purpose, individuals become disoriented, often embarking on a desperate quest to find something to believe in or resigning themselves to the notion that such meaning cannot be found. Addressing those who seek a genuine approach to facing the future, the author writes with the intention of offering a perspective that confronts reality directly, rooted in compassion and providing meaningful purpose. However, the author asserts that constructing a new narrative alone cannot succeed because we cannot escape the complexities of our own human condition. It is a delusion to believe that the future will render irrelevant what we know about ourselves. While in today's world the concept of progress is often equated with measures taken to enhance human happiness and improve living standards, the thinkers of the 18th century understood its value while also recognizing its pitfalls. Postman contends that our cultural obsession with an unbridled notion of progress has led to confusion and spiritual emptiness. The author highlights an incident from the early 19th century when Lord Byron, in addressing the House of Lords, spoke against a proposed law that advocated the death penalty for individuals who deliberately destroyed machines, an act carried out by the so-called Luddites, protesting the devastating impact of factories on their way of life. Byron sought to underscore the idea that progress is a double-edged sword, promising economic growth but often at the expense of self-respect and community. Throughout his argument, the author challenges the reader to contemplate various instances in which technology has both aided and harmed humanity. This serves as a reminder of the complex interplay between progress and its consequences, urging us to critically assess the impact of technological advancements on our lives and well-being. As an illustration, the author firmly maintains that while automobiles have undeniably provided convenience, they have also contributed to air pollution, traffic congestion, and the degradation of natural landscapes. Similarly, television, while enabling the widespread dissemination of information, has witnessed a decline in literacy rates and hindered children's socialization. In assessing the balance between the advantages and drawbacks of technology, Postman swiftly points out that the majority of new technological advancements offer only marginal benefits. Furthermore, the author raises a crucial point regarding information. He observes that during the 18th century, knowledge was not perceived as separate entities as it often is today. Rather, it was deemed valuable only when it possessed a contextual framework that aligned with a comprehensive worldview. While the 19th century successfully tackled the challenge of disseminating information more rapidly and diversely to the public, Postman believes this has given rise to a new predicament, information overload and a disconnection from purpose or meaning. He coins this phenomenon as a crisis in narrative. Consequently, individuals have sought alternative narratives centered around masculinity, tradition, conquest, and strength in an attempt to fill the void. In conclusion, the author asserts that modern education fails to instill critical thinking and skepticism, two pivotal priorities of the Enlightenment era. Present-day society no longer fosters an environment in which citizens are encouraged to question the authority that governs them or to identify instances of propaganda. Instead, a privileged minority receives a comprehensive education, while the majority is left to acquire mere facts and conform to obedience. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.